Dealing with hunger is one of the biggest roadblocks you encounter to lose body fat. Your body likes homeostasis, meaning it wants to stay the same. So what it does is it sends signals to increase your hunger so you'll eat more and keep you from losing. Today I want to give you 8 tips to help you reduce hunger while losing weight. So the first tip, and probably one of the most obvious tips, is to eat more voluminous foods. So yeah, things like salads. I mean, you don't have to eat salads. It may surprise you actually. When I got to the leanest levels I've ever been, I didn't eat a single salad that entire time. And it's just because I don't like them. I'd rather eat other things, but salads are great because they're filling. Vegetables, especially green vegetables, things like watermelon and apples and these nutrient dense foods. And there's also really low calorie options of foods you can eat. Pickles are basically no calories. You can get sugar-free Jello. The entire container of it is only 40 calories. There's pasta zero. There's zucchini noodles, celery, spinach. These things are almost no calories and will fill you up. The second tip is to eat more protein. When you eat protein, it significantly reduces the hormone ghrelin, and ghrelin is what signals to the body that you're hungry. The third tip is don't eat too big of a calorie deficit. The bigger deficit you make, the more signals you're going to give to your body that it needs to put up its guard and fight against this fat loss because it doesn't want you going below your body fat set point. So if you create an extreme deficit by doing crash dieting, you're going to be very hungry and have a really hard time not only sticking to the plan, but also continuing to lose because eventually your body's going to adapt and it's just a disaster. So keep the deficit smaller. Around maybe 15 to 20% of your maintenance calories is all you need to start losing body fat. And this will also help protect your muscle, your metabolism. So there's plenty of benefits besides just feeling less hungry. In a similar manner, another strategy to help with hunger is to break up your dieting and take frequent diet breaks where you bring your calories back up to around maintenance for a week or two. And this will help keep your hunger hormones in a better place. It'll help mentally with enjoying some more food for a while. And it goes in line with the theme of not rushing the process, which gives you the best long-term results. Now, of course, there's physical hunger. There's also emotional hunger. And this is something you need to pay attention to because just because you feel like eating something doesn't even necessarily mean you're hungry. And a test you can use to check this is if you find that you're really hungry and you want to eat something, allow yourself to, but make it something that's not necessarily like a fun food. Jordan Syatt calls it the apple test. You really want to eat, you can have an apple. Go ahead and eat it. Doesn't matter if it brings you over your calories or whatever, just eat that apple. And if you go, well, I don't even want to eat if I have to have an apple, then it's not hunger. Then it's boredom or emotions, stress, things like that. I like to call it the egg white test for myself because egg whites is like the safest food around. There's so much research that shows that you almost cannot store protein as body fat, and egg whites is straight protein. So if you want to go over your calories and you want to have as many egg whites as you want, go right ahead. It's probably not going to do anything anyways, and it's going to fill you up more than anything because like I just talked about, protein is the most filling macronutrient. Now on the flip side of that, I'm going to shock you here. Sometimes it's best to actually eat those things that you crave, and that actually could help you feel less hungry. What ends up happening is you go into a diet, you eliminate all your favorite foods. Now you start feeling really restricted. You miss those foods because you say you can't have them. You want them even more. And it's because you're being overly restrictive. So if you let yourself have some treats in moderation, even as much as daily, now it takes the stigma away. It reduces your cravings because you never crave things that you can have whenever you want. And now instead of binging because you feel restricted, now you stay on plan. And without those cravings, now you feel less hungry. The 7th tip to help with hunger is sleep. I've been talking about sleep a lot lately, and it's just because I find it to be the most underrated aspect of a fitness lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. It impacts everything, and there's plenty of research that shows when people get more sleep, they have less hunger, and also impacts your mood and emotions. And if you're super tired all the time, you're more likely to go off plan. And if you would just prioritize sleep, you would get better results, feel better, and be less hungry. So make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Now, in the first tip, I mentioned how eating lots of voluminous food can be really helpful, but if you're not careful, it can actually make things worse. What I mean by that is sometimes chasing hunger puts it on your mind more, and it just makes you continue to be hungry. But the thing is, well, I'd love to tell you, you're just never gonna have to deal with hunger when you're dieting. It's gonna be part of the process. It shouldn't be ravenous all the time hunger, but you're gonna be hungry, and the leaner you get, the more hungry you're gonna be. But I'm telling you, Just accepting that hunger is part of the process, it usually makes you feel less hungry. Because if you don't accept this and you get frustrated by it and you're doing everything you can to chase down this hunger and you're trying to shovel in raw spinach or pickles like crazy and just stuffing yourself, it's on your mind more and it makes you even more hungry. Whereas if you just went, you know what, this is part of the process, I have to deal with this. Remember, hunger goes away on its own. Learning to sit with hunger is one of the best things you can do for yourself to get the results you're after. So I'm telling you, next time you're really hungry and you feel like you need to eat, but it's not really time, sit with it and you'll see that it does eventually go away. All right, all that being said, I mentioned that you don't want to get too aggressive with your diet, but how many calories should you eat and how do you make adjustments when you hit weight loss plateaus? Well, check out this top video and I'll go over all that detail to help set you up for success. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.